What if your analytics tools could think like a detective instead of just answering questions like a search engine? Welcome to the era of Agentic Analytics, the way that changes how we work with data. Here's the thing about most analytics tools today. They're really good at answering the questions you ask, but terrible at investigating the questions you should be asking. You ask, what were sales last month? You get a number. You ask, show me by region. You get a chart. But here's what doesn't happen. The tool doesn't ask, why did the Northeast region suddenly drop 23%? It doesn't investigate, is this a seasonal pattern or something new? And it definitely doesn't tell you, 3 specific customers changed behavior. Here's what to do about it. Traditional analytics is reactive. You ask, it answers. Agentic Analytics is proactive, it investigates. So what is Agentic Analytics? Agentic Analytics refers to AI-powered analytics systems that can autonomously investigate complex business questions through multi-step reasoning, like a data scientist would, rather than just executing single queries. Let me break that down with an analogy. Traditional analytics is like a librarian. You ask for a specific book, they tell you exactly where it is. Want another book? Ask another question. Each request is isolated, and you need to know exactly what to ask for. Agentic Analytics is like a research assistant. You say, I need to understand why student enrollment is declining. They don't just hand you one report, they investigate, they check enrollment trends over time, they segment by program and demographics, they correlate with economic factors, they identify outliers, they synthesize findings, and then they come back with, here's what I found, here's why it's happening, and here's what similar institutions did successfully. What makes Agentic Analytics fundamentally different comes down to 3 capabilities. 1. Multi-hypothesis testing. Instead of answering one question, it tests multiple hypotheses simultaneously. It's not just looking where you point, it's exploring the entire landscape.
This video is sponsored by Losing hours on data analysis? Scoop investigates for you and provides answers in 45 seconds. Don't know why revenue dropped? Scoop tests multiple hypotheses and finds the root cause in under a minute. Scoop Analytics is your AI data scientist.
2. Contextual memory. It remembers the conversation. When you ask a follow-up question, it understands what that refers to, what filters you've applied, what you're trying to accomplish. Traditional tools start fresh every time. 3. Autonomous reasoning. This is the big one. It can decide what to investigate next based on what it finds. If it discovers an anomaly in the data, it automatically digs deeper without you having to ask. Think of it like the difference between GPS directions and a human navigator. GPS tells you the route. A navigator notices traffic ahead and proactively finds an alternative. Let's see this in action with a real scenario. With traditional analytics, you ask, why did revenue drop last month? The tool shows you a chart of revenue by month. You ask, show me by product category. The tool shows you a breakdown. You ask, what about by region? Another chart. You ask, check mobile versus desktop. Another visualization. 2 hours later, you've asked 15 questions, created a dozen charts, and you're still piecing together the story. Now here's the Agentic Analytics approach. You ask, why did revenue drop last month? The system investigates. It tests temporal patterns. Is this seasonal? It segments customers. Which groups changed behavior? It analyzes product mix. Did preferences shift? It checks traffic sources. Did acquisition channels change? It examines the conversion funnel. Where are drop-offs occurring? It correlates external factors, market conditions, competitors, events. 45 seconds later, you get this. Revenue dropped 15%, primarily due to a 40% decrease in mobile checkout completions. The issue started on March 3rd, correlating with a payment gateway update. Desktop purchases remained stable. Estimated impact, $430,000. Recommend immediate review of mobile payment flow. So why is Agentic Analytics emerging now? And why should you care? Traditional BI gave us dashboards. Natural language analytics gave us search. But we're still fundamentally limited by asking the right questions. Here's the problem. Studies show that 70% of valuable insights in business data are never discovered, not because the data isn't there, but because humans don't know the right questions to ask. We see the tip of the iceberg, the questions we think to ask. Agentic Analytics explores below the surface, finding patterns and relationships we didn't know to look for. This represents a fundamental shift in how we think about analytics. Agentic Analytics is not about replacing human judgment, it's about augmenting human curiosity with technology.
Losing hours on data analysis? Scoop investigates for you and provides answers in 45 seconds. Don't know why revenue dropped? Scoop tests multiple hypotheses and finds the root cause in under a minute. Scoop Analytics is your AI data scientist.